Hello everyone, welcome to Sources Classes. So in this video again we have come up with a very interesting session for you, a question session or a video pertaining to reading comprehension. So in this video we have taken a very interesting passage, a passage pertaining to tennis and its different workings and terminologies. Basically science based passage. So what we will do is we'll basically go through the entire passage and subsequently we'll try and solve this question in front of us as well. Okay. Having said that, let us focus on the passage at hand. Though most tennis players generally strive to hit the ball on the racket's vibrational node, more commonly known as sweet spot, many players are unaware of the existence of the second lesser known location on the second racket face, the center of percussion. So this is the main focus. Okay, this is the second one. It's a existence of second lesser known location. Okay, I'm just highlighting the keywords. That will also greatly diminish the strain on the player's arm when the ball is struck. Okay, in order to understand the physics of the sweet spot, it is helpful to consider what would happen to a tennis racket in the moment after impact with the ball if the player's hand were to vanish at the moment of impact. Okay, the impact of the ball would cause the racket to bounce backwards, experiencing a translation motion away from the ball. The tendency of the motion to jerk all parts of the racket, including the end of the handle, backwards or away from the ball. So basically, backwards away from the ball, we are talking about the direction. Unless the ball happens to hit the racket precisely at the racket center of mass, the racket would additionally experience a rotational motion around its center of mass. Much as a penny that has been struck, much as it's an example, that has been struck near the edge will start to spin. Okay, an example has been given. Whether the ball hits the racket face, the effects of the rotational motion will be to jerk the end of the handle forward and towards the ball, depending on where the ball strikes the racket's face. One or the other of these two motion predominates. So which two motions are we talking about? Either it can be the rotational motion or the forward towards the ball, or the translatory of the single line motion. Okay, one of the, depending on where the ball strikes the racket face, one of the two other motion dominates. Okay, however, there is one point of impact known as center of persecution which causes neither motion to predominate. Okay, this is the, if ball were to strike at this point, the impact would not impart any motion to the end of the handle. So this is the benefit. The reason for this lack of motion is the force on the upper part of the hand would be equal and opposite to the force on the lower part of the hand. Okay, so resulting in no net force on the tennis player. The reason given why it is more suitable. Player's hand or forearm. The center of percussion constitutes as second sweet spot because tennis player's wrist typically is placed next to the end of the racket's handle. When player strikes the ball at the center of percussion, his wrist is jerked neither forward or backward, and she experiences a relatively smooth and comfortable stroke. The manner in which the tennis player can detect the center of percussion on a given tennis racket follows from the nature of the second sweet spot. The manners in which a tennis player can detect the center of percussion on a given tennis racket follows from the nature of the second sweet spot. Okay, the center of percussion can be located by a simple trial and error by holding the end of the tennis racket between your finger and thumb and throwing the ball onto the strings. If the handle jumps out of your hand, then the ball has missed the percussion. So this particular passage talks about the method to find center of percussion. Okay, so we have completed the passage. Now let's deal with the questions. What is the primary message of the author trying to convey? A proposal for the improvement of design of tennis racket? No, we haven't really talked about any proposal for change in design or anything, improvement in design, totally out of context. An examination of difference between two types of sweet spot? No, we haven't talked about difference of the two spots. Wrong. Definition in translation rotational forces acting on tennis racket? No, we are not talking about any kind of definition or any sort, out of context. A description in the ideal area in which to strike every ball. A description of the ideal area, no. We more or less we talked about why striking in the ball, ideal spot would help the players not injuring themselves, and what would happen if the ball had struck somewhere outside that particular sweet spot. Again, no. An explanation of the lesser known area of the tennis racket that dampens unwanted vibration. Yes, lesser known area. Okay, unaware of it's given. So yeah, option E will be the correct one. Option question 2, let's move on to, according to passage, all of the following are true of the forces acting upon the tennis racket striking a ball, except the only way to eliminate the jolt that accompanies most strokes is to hit the ball at the center of percussion. See, it's a yes, it is a way to eliminate the it is one of the way to eliminate jolts, okay, but it is not the only way. It's clearly mentioned where, hang on, yeah, it is the second way, okay. First is simply the sweet spot, and second, or the center of mass, or second is the center of percussion. So this could very well be a wrong answer, but let's still verify. uh, the the impact of the ball striking the racket can strain, yes, this has been mentioned. So there are at least two different forces, yes, rotation and translatory, two different forces. The end of the handle of the racket will jerk off after striking the ball unless the ball strikes the racket stand center of mass. Yes, this is the whole idea behind the passage. This is also mentioned. Racket will rebound if it strikes the ball. Yes, racket will rebound. So yes, option A is the only one that has been wrongly mentioned. So option A will be our correct answer. Okay. What is the primary function served by the paragraph 2 in context of the entire passage? So if we take a look, establish the idea, main idea, paragraph 2, basically we are concerned, this is the second paragraph starts from here. Okay, so we talk about translation motion, forward, backward, rotational motion. I'm just reading out the keywords, center of mass, penny example. So more or less force related thing. Okay, so we are more or less talking about the mechanics. In the second paragraph, we are more or less talking about the mechanics. Okay, we are talking about the mechanics. So establish the main idea of the passage. Second. No, we are not establishing the main idea. To provide explanation of the mechanics of the phenomenon discussed, yes, all the forces and everything is mentioned. So yes, this will be our answer. But let's see. Provide a counter argument. No, we are not providing any counter argument. So again, wrong. Provide an example. No, we are not providing any example. An example is the only example I think that we have provided here is about the coin. If I'm not wrong, where have we about the coin? Yes, the only example that we have seen in this entire passage is about the coin that has been hit on the side. So this is particular thing is not an example to explain why the main would be useful for tennis player. No, we are only talking about the mechanics of the same. Okay, the author mentions a penny that has been struck near its edge. Yeah, this one, penny that has been struck near its edge, in order to show how center of mass causes the racket to spin. Okay, no, we aren't really talking about center of mass that causes, no, this cannot be in that, because penny is struck at the edge, right? So how can center of mass act on that? Argue that the penny spins in the exact way. No, penny does not spin the exact way. This is also wrong. Explain how translation motion works, but we are having rotational motion because the penny is spinning. So wrong. Provide an illustration of a concept. Yes, it has been much as, so it's like an example. Yes, demonstrate that tennis and pennies do not spin the same way, again out of context. So option D will be the correct answer. So with that said, we have come to the end of this entire RC. So I hope all the questions that we have discussed and the way we tackle this RC have made this particular thing clear to you. as well. So hopefully all the things and regarding the RCs and everything will be clear to you as well. Now, if you're looking for similar sort of questions with detailed solution, feel free to connect with us and we'll be more than happy to help you out in this regards. Okay. Having said that, if you like the video, make sure you like, share and subscribe to the channel so we will keep coming up with relevant content such as this further down the line. So with all that said and done, I'll be signing out. So thank you so much.